while I go live on Facebook. It'll take just 1 second. And we should be live on Facebook. Hi everybody, welcome to this weekend's video. I'm Sami Abasad, Director of Education at T3 Live. I hope you're doing well, I hope you're enjoying the weekend, and let's get started. If you find benefit in today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps us out a lot, helps support the channel. And before we start, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss today is for educational purposes only. While you're at it, if you'd like to download a copy of my free ebook, link for that is in the description. Link for it is in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and turn on the charts and get going. We're going to go over some amazing swing ideas for next week. We'll also go over, actually let's go over it right now, Bitcoin and Litecoin. Bitcoin is poised for a breakout. As you can see, it's basing at the all-time high and looks higher. I guess I need to fix the margins a little bit to get the chart off the top a little bit, but that's Bitcoin. What I wanted to talk about was Litecoin. I wanted to talk about that at the end of the video, but since I already had the chart open, we'll get it out of the way already. Notice Litecoin had a breakout on so that was yesterday. That was what? Saturday, because obviously cryptocurrency is a 24-hour market, and today is a narrow range bar. So that sets up a 1, 2, 3 play on the daily chart. So I like Litecoin a lot as a long over 263, and with the stop being under today's low of the day. As of right now, today's low is at 244. So the entry for this would be over 263, stop 244. Okay. So that's Litecoin. We talked about a little bit Bitcoin. A lot of the cryptocurrencies look higher, but the favorite one right now is Litecoin. I got some Ether, I got some Bitcoin, I got some Litecoin. You know, I got those are the 3 coins that I have, but I would like to add to Litecoin. So I got half a Bitcoin, not quite half. I got some Ether too. I got 12. I have 12. 6 and 6, that's 12. I have some Litecoin also, but I'm looking to add to all of this stuff. I only have 25 Litecoin, so we'll see if Litecoin triggers. I'll be adding to it and go from there. In terms of the U.S. equities market, what did I tell you last week? I'm not going to say anything. What did I say last week? I said almost word for word. You can check last week's video. That there should be money rotation going into the big tech stocks, and I highlighted three stocks, right? I said Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. Now I didn't like Apple and Amazon as much, but they also got bought just as much, if not more. I got Google, and that's the only one I got. So I made a mistake myself, even though I predicted that money would go into the big companies, the biggest 5 in the country, but I only got Google. Hopefully we get a pullback, and then maybe at the end of the week or even next week I'll get into the other ones too. They all look good, but overextended right now, so you can't chase. My favorite 3 are Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. So that's what happened last week, and the Qs is at the all-time high. The SPY is making new all-time highs almost every day. The IWM is sideways, pretty much. I mean, if we were to go back 2 weeks ago, was probably 2 weeks ago, still flat from 2 weeks ago. So again, the money got out of the small cap and into the large cap, and mainly big tech stocks. Okay, as predicted last week. All right, now on to some amazing swing ideas. If you're a subscriber to my newsletter, The Strategic Swing Trader, feel free to log on to your T3 Live account, and you will see which ones I picked for my own account and for the newsletter, of course. But for those of you that are just hanging out with me on Facebook and YouTube, love having ya, but I can't tell you exactly which ones I picked, so I'm just going to go over my entire watch list. How about that? We already went, as I said, I was going to go over Litecoin and Bitcoin at the end, but I had the chart up already, so I already covered that. Okay, BSIG is got a 1, 2, 3 setup on the daily chart. The entry for BSIG would be over 23.40. Stop under 22.23. So it's about $1.20. It's a big stop, but notice how it broke out recently. So it looks good. I like it. BSIG. If you'd like to, instead of having to type up the list, if you'd like to just copy and paste the entire list, it's in the description of the video below. Okay, below the video, go to the description, copy and paste it into your watch list, bullish list as well as the bearish list. Okay, so BSIG is like Litecoin, is a 1, 2, 3 setup. DXC is a breakout. Okay, it looks good. It's not my favorite. Over the base, stop under it. Okay, GDX, we talked about GLD last week. In this week's video, I'm going to talk about GDX. GDX looks pretty much the same as GLD, a little bit stronger. It's triggering a monthly buy setup. Had the multi-year breakout last year in 2020, and now we've had a pullback to the rising 20 MA on the monthly chart. So I like it higher over 34. It already triggered, to tell you the truth, over 34.50, 34.48, but let's just say 34.85. Okay, so over last week's high, and the target is $45. So for those that like to play gold or diversify a little bit out of some of the equities, some of the stocks, and into gold, well, there you go. GDX has a nice looking setup. IRM, I talked about it in last week's video. I already got it, but it hasn't gone anywhere. So I still like it over the base, stop under it for those that didn't get it already. Over the base, stop under it on the IRM. HGEN, deep pullback. I don't usually generally play the first buy setup after a deep pullback, but it's got a nice spot or location on the daily chart. You have the rising 20, the 200 MA, so it looks all right. The hourly starting to break the downtrend. Okay, looks okay over the base, stop under it on the HGEN. The next on the list is the IZEA, and that is a breakout. It's into a lot of resistance, you know, so it's not really my favorite, but it looks okay still. The IZEA. MDT I already have. It looks good as a long-term play, breaking out on every time frame pretty much. That's the weekly, that's the monthly. Looks good, like it still. Over Friday's high. Stop would be, so actually over Wednesday's high, 122.05. Stop would be under 119.96 on the MDT. PFMT, I think this is similar to the IZEA. As I said, I don't generally play the first buy setup after a deep pullback, but it's a good watch for the week. Not something I will be looking to play tomorrow, but good for the rest of the week. SIEN is setting up to be a breakout. SIEN, especially if you look at the weekly, the monthly, you know, broke out on the monthly already actually. So that it's mostly the daily and the weekly that are setting up as a breakout. Notice the daily, the weekly, 3 weeks in a row, tight range. So once we break above the range, it should probably get back up to towards $9, $8.93, and maybe even $10, which is the 200 MA, that red line that you see on my charts. Okay, that's the CN. Sirius Satellite, over the base, long, stop under it. Not a favorite, but looks nice. Now I wanted to talk about SMH. The semis look good. This is the Semiconductors Industry ETF. Looks higher over the base. Okay, it's a little bit extended. I like to play right at the 20 MA when the stock is when price is at the right at the 20 MA. It's a little bit extended, but still looks higher. Stop under. Okay, and then also XLF looks higher too. So the banks and the technology stocks look pretty good. XLF would be, you know, over the SPARS high. Stop under. Those are not real swing ideas. They're more like long-term plays, more like sectors that are now look good if one wants to get into the market, but maybe doesn't want to, you know, if one doesn't want to buy the entire market and wants to be sector specific. So those are a couple of sectors that I like. Okay, SUPN. Funny, SUPN was in a long-term downtrend, and then it ended the downtrend in late 2020. So you see, it was in a downtrend from mid 2018 through late 2020, ended the downtrend, and is trying to transition on the monthly chart. Sometimes they go quick on the monthly, they break the trend and they keep going, and sometimes they base for a while. So I like to have a perfect daily chart when I play something that just transitioned, that just broke the monthly uptrend, or monthly downtrend rather. Otherwise, the entry for this would be over 28.46 with a stop under 27.73. Okay, notice how I'm giving you concrete entries. No wishy-washiness, no, I like that, but I don't know where the entry is really. I'm giving you exact entries and exact stops. TSM is another semiconductor stock that looks good on the weekly chart. See that weekly buy setup? That's like PayPal, which I'm in. The newsletter's in. I don't know if you are, but like PayPal, deep pullback, but right to the rising 20 on the weekly. So this is the same, but I don't have the entry just yet. So I'm watching the TSM as a long, but it doesn't quite look perfect just yet. But it's probably going to be a play this week. This week, okay? VVOS, wow, broke out early last week, and now it looks poised for another move up. Like it over 1010. Stop under 8.98, so it's about $1.10, $1.15. Target 1 would be $13. This bar's high, actually $12.40, $12.38, and target 2 would be about $14 on the VVOS. And we talked about the XLF. Last but not least is the ZIM, and it's a 1, 2, 3 setup. It's like the very first setup that I went over, which was the BSIG. Same exact entry, same exact pattern. Over this bar's high, stop under the low. Okay, on the ZIM. In terms of the shorts, I got ACAD short. It gapped down and it's just basing at the lows. It looks good under the lows right there. So under 20.37, stop would be over 21.60, 21.68 to be exact. And it looks lower to $15 is the target off the monthly chart. The monthly has support at 15. Codx is the daily sell setup. It's a little bit extended, but it looks good under 884, I think, 886. Short, stop over 993 or 980. Let's just say. DISCK looks lower. DISCK, Viacom, GSX, all the internet stocks and the media stocks look lower. So this one looks the neatest. It's the nicest base, the Discovery Channel, I guess. So under the base, stop could be either above the base, but that would be a big stop, or tighter stop would be over 37.02. So under 35.50 by 37.02, okay? And then Geo was a really bearish gap down a couple days ago, and now has kind of a 1, 2, 3. So under 564 by 590. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. Again, if you're a subscriber, you either wait for the newsletter to come out tomorrow by 8 o'clock, or you can log on to your account and you'll see which ones I picked for my own account and for the newsletter. Nkla looks like it's going out of business. It looks really, really bearish. I like it short under 12.20 with a stop over 13.04. Okay, on the Nkla. NVOS had a gap down, but it was a secondary offering. The same with the OTIS. The gap down was on Thursday. Secondary offering, so they're not real gaps, but I still like both of them short. On the NVOS, I want to show you where the setup comes from. It's the hourly chart. So under the double bottom, this bottom and that bottom, or under the base, you can say, stop above it. Okay? So this would be under 270 with a stop over 281 on the NVOS. OTIC, it'd be just under 220 by 231. Okay? On the OTIC. It's a little base breakdowns. WIMI, WINT, they're both daily sell stops. Exact same. So under Friday's low above the pivot. Stop above the pivot. Okay? On both of them. Alright, and then Workhorse looks lower. So that's another EV maker. Electric vehicle. Now this one is doesn't have a really tight base, so I'm gonna skip it, pass on it, but it looks good. It looks lower on the Workhorse. And then WVE is so this one I don't usually play short off the top, so I play short when the stock base is at the bottom, not at the top of the move. In this case it's based at the top of the move, but this was a breakout failure. You can see it better on the hourly chart. See the breakout and the breakout, the buyers got slammed. the buying got met by selling. So I like it under the base, stop above it. Under the base, you just check. I'm trying to keep the video shorter a little bit. So you just go under the base and say, okay, what's the lowest low here? Oh, it's 618. 618. Where is the stop? Over the breakout bars high. 657. Right? 1 penny above, at least 1 penny. And then where's the target? The prior low. There's a little bit of support here. Okay, let's consider that target 1, 550. Target 2, the prior low. Does that make sense? So that's how I get my entries and stops. And I think that will do it for this week. So I hope you enjoyed this free video. If you enjoyed it, would like to help support our channel on YouTube, please, and Facebook, please be sure to hit the like button. If you'd like to join me, check out the links in the description. You can actually try out my services for the first month for a very small amount of money. If you have any questions at all, reach out to customer service, info@t3live.com. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm Sami Abu Saad. I will talk to you next week. Take care, everybody. Ciao.